Hey everybody, welcome back to another fantastic episode of Ready to Die Fighting. I'm Chris. I'm down here with my bike that I'm not sure what I'm naming yet, and I've been putting it together. If you guys been following along, you know what we got so far with the cranks and pedals and derailleur, and so now I'm putting the fork on. It's technically already on, but not really. I did a dry assembly of this just to make sure I've got all the pieces and I know how they go together before I put any grease on here, and it makes a mess and everything. Nothing's really tightened down. I just wanted to make sure I got everything. So just a dry assembly is always a good idea on something like this when you're not sure when there's a lot of pieces. And it's been at least a week since I initially took this apart, so I want to double check. So, like, follow, subscribe, all that fun stuff. And let's put this together for realsies. So I have this piece here, and there's a little, I don't know if you can see that, but there's like a little notch, not notch, the opposite of a notch, a little protrusion. And then there's a notch on here. So you want to get that lined up. And it just goes in there, and then it doesn't turn, and that just keeps everything in place and keeps it from spinning or moving when you're tightening other things. And then this screws like so. Like I said, there's no oil or grease whatsoever on here. And there may be some residual or whatever, but it's assembled essentially dry. But it is clean, and there doesn't seem to be any damage or rust or anything. There was some rust, but I removed it. Right, and then we've got this part that this is all one piece. I mean, maybe it comes apart, but I didn't try. It seems to be all one piece. Got a ring of bearings. Make sure you pay attention to which direction they go in. There's this side and this side, so pay attention. And then we've got a similar setup with another ring of bearings on the bottom. And just this little, I don't know, seal or whatever. So what we're going to do is basically just put it back exactly like it was, except add some grease to the mix. Where did I put the grease? There it is. So I'm going to basically just put a bead of grease all the way around here. And wherever bearings are involved, I go kind of excessive on the grease. One, I want to protect them. I want to make sure that they are going to be able to move and spin freely. But also I feel like it makes a bit of a seal. And so I'm just going to smear this around on top. And I feel like this is going to help just keep moisture and anything out. If you get a nice amount of grease on there. Well lubricated bearings are happy bearings. Excellent. Alright, and let's just slide that in here. And that's the bottom. Now the top is going to be essentially more of the same. I'm going to put a nice bead of beautiful green thick grease here. Stick the bearings in the same direction that I took them out. They should sit nicely in there. And I'm going to put a little bit more on top. Not quite as thick, I mean, just kind of dabbing a little bit more on top to kind of coat them. And ample seems a little bit silly. I'm going to put some on the threads here. Just to make sure we don't get any, make this screw on nice and easy, prevent some rust, corrosion, moisture, all that fun stuff. So it doesn't stick. I need to take this apart or adjust it. And I'm going to screw this on. And so now, I'm going to tighten this down. You got to find a balance. If you tighten it too much, it's going to bind the bearings up and it's not going to spin freely, and you know that's your steering right here, right? You want to be able to the forks to turn freely. On the other hand, if they're too loose, then it's gonna see like that. If that's too loose, it's gonna knock around. It's gonna tear things up. It's gonna let dust and moisture and corrosion in. You know, you don't want that. So you want to find the happy place where there's none of this, but they still spin freely. That's pretty good. That might be even too much. At that point, I don't know if I feel any right there. That feels better. It spins just a little nicer. And there's, there might be a tiny bit there. That's it. All right, now this goes on top. I feel like there's something that goes on top of here. Or the, what's called the handlebars. The quill stem goes in here. So I think that's it for this portion. I'm trying to make these videos be not too long and breaking it up into segments. And so the next part that will go in is the stem, which holds the handlebars. And that slides in. And I think I will make that a separate video. Alright. Just getting rid of some of all that excess grease that's leaking out. Feels pretty good. Feels like, it sounds like there's a little bit of grittiness there, doesn't it? I cleaned it pretty good, so I'm just gonna give it a little bit of time. Like that loosened up some. Okay. That's it for now. Like and subscribe, and thanks for watching.